Hey there, everybody. I wanted you to show you what we've done hash tables. We did the fleshed out 2D and objects and stuff last week. You can see that we have one more module on doing file input and output, saving stuff to like an Excel sheet or like a external file where it doesn't just disappear when you close the program. Loading it back up, that's pretty fucking important. But that's really a kind of like a pain in the ass to put on the final. Cause then you gotta put what file you're using to upload, then there's a lot doing the resource files and all that. It's a pain in the ass. So module 8 isn't gonna be on the final. And so to give you more time to get the final done and then not have it impacting your other classes, is we're gonna have the final start now. Peer-reviewed final project. We'll have an in-class thing on May 19th. I think it's just gonna be a one question, like maybe 2 question, like worksheet. I gotta have some written component for it. But that's not gonna be that much. So we're gonna have the final project due next Friday, not this Friday, but then 9 days from now at midnight, and then you'll have several days to do a peer review on it. This says all the same shit. Don't do shit we haven't done in class, all that good stuff. Do a good review, stuff like that. If you want to brainstorm, that's what this class session is going to be about. But if you want to do more brainstorming later on, you're like, I don't know about this. You're free to talk to anybody, but you can't help or use each other's code. You can brainstorm ideas with your peers all you want. I don't give a shit. That's programming. Developing ideas is not a solo activity. You don't have to do it alone, but you got to write your code on your own. We are going to do it on what we did on exam 1. You can strip what you took from exam 1, not the whole linked list on Padawan is my champion or my bitch or whatever you put, but the one with the D&D classes. We had 4 classes, or we had a structure. Some of you did it as a class. Some of you are going to be in a better position if you did it as a class, because I'm going to have you do it as a class here. You can import everything from exam 1 to save your time coding. We are going to implement something more. We're going to add that every character has loot. So we're going to do a list of loot. We did that in class. I have a link to it in the test. You are free to copy that section of loot in.
So,
okay. So what you'll need to do is switch the structure to a class if you had it as a structure. That includes doing accessor methods, get methods, set methods, constructors. You got to do prototype and separation. Let's just test you on all of CSCI basically right now. Everything is pretty much the same as before. We're adding a list for loot. If you did it on something different than D&D characters, you're free. It does not require to be D&D. This was just an idea of something to do it on. Some people did it on soccer. Some people did it on Harry Potter. Some people did it on all sorts of shit. Whatever you did on before, you're free to expand that to that. Keep it with that. With the loot structure, though, you do need to create 3 new structures, or because you can leave loot as a structure. The player character needs to be converted to a class, but the loot, if you look down, like we had it, I copied it from what we had on the other thing. We did weapon based off loot, we did armor based off loot, and we did magic ring based off loot. We even have some comparators that we put in here. You have to create 3 new items that go with it. Now, if it's Harry Potter, maybe it's your fucking what your pet is. Like, is it an owl? Is there fucking? Did you have robes? Did you have a magic cape? Did you?
I was gonna say frog, raven.
Whatever. I just gave owl because that's what Harry has, but pet could be anything. It doesn't. It could. I gave a list of ideas for it.
You can also do something like when you could kill like monster or something. You go to something.
If you want to add as much as you want, go right ahead. If you want to have a combat scenario where they fucking fight the monster and the monster dies, and it drops loot, that's fucking awesome. I'll be fucking entertained as shit.
If I keep guessing what he's gonna draw.
Your grade. No, I ain't gonna drop your grade. If you make it above and beyond what I'm asking, it can only do well for you. Can only be better. The loot structure did have a display method. Your following structure should have a display method that inherited off of it. Your print method that you did for your character in exam 1 should include printing, accessing the list loot and running its display function. And then we are going to make a hash table of it. That's what we did in our last module. So instead of doing a linked list or binary tree, you've got your characters, stuff like that. We're gonna make a hash table based on class or the job, whatever, or position if you did soccer or whatever you made your job separation on. House if you did Harry Potter, someone did like Slytherin, Dumbledore, or Hufflepuff and shit like that. Whatever you want to do it on, you can expand it to that. If you are inspired, some people I think had more than 4 jobs. If you're more than welcome to have as many as you want, you just need at least 4. You'll create a hash table for it. You need a hash function that takes the player char in and decides what bucket to put it in. So kind of like what we did with what we did on Monday was we based it on the first letter of the job. Okay.
It's fun.
What?
It's fun.
Hopefully you find it fun. So what's new is switching to structure or switching to class for your D&D, adding access to a list pointer of loot. You'll need 3 player or 3 characters in each class, not just 2. We had 2 for each one in the other one. Maybe add a little more. You should have each character have at least 3 pieces of loot. They can't just be all the same shit that we did. If you look at this one right here, I just clicked on the link, it takes you to it. Don't just copy this shit and edit the fucking names. Don't use weapon and armor and rings. Like include at least something new that you added for each character. Okay?
So this is what we have to do for a final?
Yes. It's due on next Friday at midnight. It'll be peer reviewed. When's the peer reviewed by? Peer review will be by Wednesday that week, right before final starts. So you will be basically done. I don't know if I'm going to have a written final or not. I'm still thinking about it. This might be enough. But you'll basically be done with all the CSCI programming final stuff before your actual final start, which is kind of handy. What?
It would be like a
Yeah, it makes shit easier. That doesn't mean we're not going to continue doing lecture material. We have more stuff to learn, like accessing external files, saving shit to external files, uploading shit from external files. That's pretty important. That's why Excel and Microsoft Word and all the shit we use works, because we save it to external files. Everything we've done so far, as soon as you close the program, everything you've done is fucking gone, which is not helpful at all. So, but that does not need to be incorporated in the final. Now, if you play D&D, this is kind of helpful. You may want to, like, after you're done with the final, add file input, output, and then you can have your own character sheet, fucking, or whatever you want. You could make this however you wanted. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about? I guess the inheritance does come from doing the loop, but I'm not showing it. You don't have to go through and show polymorphism. It's going to show up naturally. So adding the list with loop pointers and a hash table is really basically the new thing. I recommend if you copy shit from exam 1, comment out everything but one character. Get the one character to run to screen with the list loot in there. Give them loot. Make sure you can get that one character to run before you trying to start add 12 characters and throwing them in a hash table. Okay. I even mentioned it here, like copy them over, but comment everything out. Don't try to get all the characters to run all the list loot at once. Just get one. Do it piecemeal. Generally, when you're coding, it's handy to do stuff a couple steps at a time, run it, make sure it's running. But if you're copying over something from an external previous source, you can run into errors if you try to translate it all. So copy it over, convert it to a class if you didn't have it as a class already, make your accessor methods, make one character run. Then when the character's running, add the list loot, make the character run and display the loot. Once that's done, then start developing the other 12 characters, the hash table. If you guys have any questions on what you might want to do or have any ideas on something else you might want to do instead, I'm open to suggestions. We need to go over with the final needs to cover hash tables. I wanted to show like using lists and pointers and shit like that. But if you have something else in mind, I am more than all ears to listen on it. If it's got a reasonable thing where you're showing basically all this stuff, but in a different format, that if you do something completely different, but we still need to cover hash tables on the final and doing stuff like that. What?
It has to include like memory.
Of course it needs memory management, and I made sure to put it here.
Yeah, we did like this last test, some people.
It happens. You don't have to think of what you're going to do right now, but if you have ideas or you want to think about it, if you want to brainstorm things you could do. Last time I taught this, they spent literally almost the hour coming up with different ideas for shit they wanted to do. Because it doesn't have to be D&D. Did anybody in here play D&D?
What is that?
Motherfucker, you're making a dice box for me, 14D. I know you know what it is.
Does water get count?
Yeah, yes, that's effectively. If you want to base it off Baldur's Gate 3, if you want to base it off a video game, you can. If you want to base it off books, you can. If you liked what we did in exam 2 with songs or fucking movies or something like that more, you can do that. Still needs to have a hash table. We still like, if I was doing that, maybe I would, if you were going to switch over and do something with music, I would do like your class is based on the song and sorted by artist. Or maybe do genre, because you need a different genre for each one. Or artist, either way. Pick one, artist or genre, and then make your list a list of songs. Or songs like what album it was on as well, album song. So like you have some flexibility here. People online, you got anything you want to ask? Any comments? Like this wouldn't be loot on the music thing. It would be like list song or list album or something like that. That might be a good way to do it. List album. You don't need to list the songs on it, but like something like that. Or list top songs. I don't know, favorite songs. But I wanted to make sure everybody knew that like we're getting this done ahead of time.
Why this time you don't give us a sample?
What?
Why this time you don't give us a sample?
Would you like me to extend this till, instead of making it May 9th, make it May 11th?
I think everyone would like that.
Are you, okay? We still have the peer review by 3 days later on the 14th.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Did people doing the uploading the files a comment? Did it make shit easier for you guys?
I couldn't see it.
Let's see it. Let's see the submission comments. Those only go to like the best. We can only see like feedback.
Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
There's one of them that was a big VSCL.
Okay. So when the exams are in, I will have them all downloaded. Oh shit, then it's not anonymous. Well, I could make it anonymous. I could resave them as different student names, and then I could upload the file. I can, you see my feedback?
I did it.
Not directly to the students.
To student or to us?
No,
In Discord, I see that.
I assume you see feedback on my project for you,
Yeah.
but you don't see feedback on others. Okay.
Yeah, I want to see the comments. And then whatever.
which is weird because the peer review doesn't, it should include their own comment.
Yeah.
Fuck. Well, that didn't. Huh. How can I make this easier? I might do this. I might, when the files are submitted, I'll download them. I'll upload them in like a Google Drive with the names, like, because the file names, it saves the file name, like who did what. I'll change it to say like test number 1, test number 2, test number 3. And then I'll have a spreadsheet that indicates which tests are yours. That's kind of hard to see. At least you can go and download them rather than trying to copy paste off of them. I don't know if that's helpful.
Oh, no, no, like,
Like that, like if I had like a Google folder where you could download the 3 tests that you're peer reviewing, you're still gonna have to compare it to what you see on screen, but then you'll know which one goes with it, and it should be easier to just copy paste without having to edit.
I know what you mean, it's because like, it's gonna try to make it fit in the page. So if you download it and you open it from the file, it's gonna have more space, so you just copy and paste it on the.
Right. In fact, Josue, can I use your last exam as an example to show how it works? Okay. So I'm gonna go in and go to assignments. Exam 2. Download submissions. I think I downloaded them already, but if I didn't. Oh, no, I might have. Okay. This is how I kind of get it, everybody's name and stuff like that. Let's see. When I open up Hostways, late. Look at that. Motherfucking late.
It was late because you said.
Late. Late.
No, but
So this is what I like. These are the files I can upload with the names edited out. You can literally put your cursor in it, hit Control A, Control C, and then you come over. Come over here. I'm loading a previous one. I'm going to hit Control A, Control V to paste. Now I got his entire game in there, and notice that I can immediately run it. I know it's a fucking pain in the ass having to edit it. So what I can do is when I have this list, where's the folder? I can name it 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe I won't name them in the order they're in, because anyone could easily go look at the roster of names and see alphabetically if you really wanted to figure out who it was. So I'll change the ordering number, give people random numbers, but I'll have my own little spreadsheet of whose number is what. And then I can upload these files with like exam 1 or person 1, person 2, person 3, and go grab the 3 you need. And I'll have like a spreadsheet up like that says like, Evan, you've got exam 2, 7, and 13. So you can just go grab 2, 7, 13, download them, save yourself some time from having to edit it. It's fucking annoying. I don't know why it does shit like that for peer review it should make it more easy. That really sucks that you guys can't see each other's comments.
it would be better if you let you like, when it displays, if you let you like download it. Then
Yeah, it would be. But I thought it did. I've never had it until students were like, I'm having a problem like making it run. I'm like, why? It's fucking running just fine for me. And like someone finally like brought their laptop and showed me. I'm like, oh wow, you guys get fucked on that. That's lame. Okay, back over to this. Any questions on what you need to do? Again, you don't have to, you can use something you've done before. You don't have to. You can say, I didn't like any of that shit. I'd rather make a hash table and map or a hash table and function out of something completely unrelated.
Can do a hash table with and not something.
If you want. That's a lot of work. You can make a hash table, 2 maps, and then the map has lists. Like you get a hash table of genre, and then it takes you to a map of artists in the genre. And then that takes you to a list of songs by, no, even better. That takes you a list of albums by each artist. And then that take each in that list, you have a link to the songs in that album. I mean, you can stagger it all you want. You can fucking make a giant fucking super tree. That's how you have to do characters and shit like that. They don't just make one giant super file for your fucking Dark Souls character. It's all like they have a module for doing like loot, a module for your graphics, a module for your weapons, you know, all the shit, and it's all linked together.
Mr. Dylan told me that.
Mr. Who?
Dylan. He told me that he was supposed to call me asshat, and I don't know who that was.
You know who it was. He told you. He told me you said Mr. David. Good time. If you don't have any questions, you don't have to say. You can, or you can get started or something like that. Or you can talk to each other, brainstorm ideas now. Ask me if those are like valid, what you could do with them. I know, I'll give you a little time to have some initiative of your own. We will be going over module 8 next week, which is the file input or upload, download, shit like that, which is good shit. It's what you've been waiting for.
Why would you use the role instead of like, others? Are these used for different things or the platforms that they're actual benefits?
I would say that.
It can go quicker. Finding what you need might be quicker because it's an index rather than, it's got to go looking for the name, but with an index like the hash table uses, it knows exactly where to fucking find it. So there's some speed in processing there. Also, like picture like a database of the US Census. Do you really want to have them? You'd probably do, like if you did the US Census, you'd probably, if you were doing a map, base it on address. Because that's how they do census. They go house to house and track who's at a home. But that's not all they care about. They actually might do it by zip code. They really want, that's what they're really looking for, what's going on in each zip code. So I'm not sure how their database is set up, but if it's by house, think about how big that fucking map is. But if you made it off a zip code, you could do it with indices. And it's only 5 digits, that's 10,000 numbers. There are far more than 10,000 houses in even Visalia. So basing it off zip code, you can narrow it down to at least a sub area really quickly, then do a search that way. When you start thinking about like how big databases get, then like on normal usage, yeah, it's not saving you any time for a fucking around the house project. If you use AI, I need to address this. Fucking Redden's been going crazy. I don't know if you guys have followed FNL stuff lately. Like on Sunday morning, he basically.
I didn't find his.
I showed you guys, didn't I?
No, yeah, but I was
Yeah.
trying to look at it, but I didn't find it. What it was. So I was trying to look at FNL.
Where was it? It was in, I think it's in general too.
Like. Doesn't not surprise me really like. It's like,
Yeah, it was here.
There it is.
I get it. Who in here actually wants to be a programmer for a living? Okay, you need to know how to do this. Like job they're hiring you is not just for your programming knowledge, but how much you can produce. This will speed up your production. But if you don't know what it's spitting out, you won't know if it's wrong. And so that's why we like a computer science degree needs, I can't pass you in the course with just prompt engineering. Like that's basically sending you onto a 4-year school saying you know programming and you don't. That's what Redden's missing. He keeps forgetting. He's thinking about endgame. Most of you are in for a job, but like there's more steps before you get to the job. And you need to get the degree. Like if you just want to be a prompt engineer, knock yourself out. You could drop out of school right now, find a job. It may not be doing exactly what you want. To be honest, if it was just prompt engineering with no fucking degree, I think you'd be bored really quickly because you're basically doing Google searches all day. No matter how well that pays, that is boring as hell. And take it from somebody that did accounting for 7 fucking years. You don't want to be bored. You quickly get bored and you're like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. So if you're going to use AI in this project, maybe use it for brainstorming ideas, but don't have it write your code. I would rather you, after you do your code, send it to me or Juan. Well, I'm going to say me. Juan's going, I add him a lot. If you want to send it to Juan and he says it's okay that he'll look at it, that's fine. He's not really responsible for looking at it, but he might like doing it because he's a good guy.
I'm doing last minute from somebody.
Yeah, don't send it to him like,
Middle of the night, 11:30, 11:35.
right.
Like, on now.
If you use auto, make sure you comment it. If you want to, after you're done, after you like, if you want ideas for revision and get stuck, then run it through and just ask for recommendations. Don't just copy and paste the recommendations over. Make sure you understand what it's doing and why it's doing it. Because if it looks like some bullshit, like completely off the hook, and you can't explain it, I'm going to fail you. If you do it, if you do ask AI to revise it, and you like one of their suggestions, leave your suggestion in, comment it out, put their suggestion in, make a comment that says, AI revised the last section to do this. This is what it does. Let me know. Like I understand if you're going to be a programmer, this is an important thing. Knowing how to use AI effectively. But in terms of your degree, you also need to know how to program. And knowing how to read programs is almost more than half the fucking battle. It really is. If you can't read a program, you definitely can't write the program. If you don't get the logic of the program, like the reading, being able to read a program really like encapsulates all of it. That's why Mr. Dillon, what do you call him? Mr. Dillon. That's why Mr. Dillon does all written tests. And which I might start doing, especially with AI becoming so.
I didn't test for one, for which one?
He teaches CSCI 5 or 6.
I think he does one.
He does both. He does written tests. He takes pride in how brutal he is too.
Yeah, he's very well. Where is it from? I'll ask him a question and he just go and it's like he's a wicked deal.
Right. Dylan's super smart. He's got a degree in engineering physics, and now he's working on applied math right now. All you fuckers that cheered for him at the integration bee, you weren't cheering for the underdog. You were cheering for the leader. Just because I have more teaching experience doesn't mean I'm better at this. He's got more versatility in it. And he remembers shit better.
He did say, I remember we were downstairs in Wilson, he said, I'm pretty sure I can go up against anybody. Jones I might actually struggle with. That's like 4-4.
Did he really say that?
Yeah.
I feel good about it. I like that. That makes me feel good. It is. We were both students here. He was like, when I was leaving, he had like 1 year left. I didn't even know who he was, but he like emailed me when I was leaving and said, hey, I'm at COS. I know you did the NASA thing because it was the first time the year I was graduating from COS, the NASA NCAS thing that they do. I was the only one that did it. He asked about it. I had done a research experience for undergrads. No one else was trying to do extracurricular shit in the Mesa program. And I'm over there, I'm doing like summer projects, I'm doing NASA shit. So he's like, he like, that's a path to success. So he like emailed me like, can I pick your brain for till we graduate? And I said, yeah. He asked me about shit. I'm like transferring. And then when I got into grad school, the shit I learned about going into grad school, like what you should do and what you shouldn't do. I gave him the advice there. I kind of mentored him until he got here, and now we're equals. But he's got more degrees than me. He's done more shit than me. He's worked for the Department of Defense. He's done all sorts of shit. He remembers it way better than me. If I had to talk about my fucking thesis statement for my master's degree right now, I could give you the big brush strokes. I couldn't tell you shit about the code. It was about flux. We're going over flux in Calc 3 tomorrow. But the full details of it, like how everything worked, I would have to go through and like basically research my own research, read my paper again. I guarantee if you ask Dylan the first fucking thesis paper he did, he could just start spit shit out like that. It's intimidating when I talk to him about subject. Like, how the fuck do you remember this? You didn't ever use it again after that. How do you? And not only that, he'll remember it by name. Who came up with the theorem? Smart. He's a smart guy.
And he had like sticky notes on almost like every other third page report. It was just like notes of the middle of the ground. We were both here nicely with you. Thanks. I can't read the textbook the way I would do it.
I can't either. I struggle with reading textbooks, even math there isn't a textbook like math I can read. It's just because I know the math, but I've never liked it, not as a student, not as a teacher. There are some math books that I'm like, nope. Whoever wrote this shit doesn't have a mastery of the English language. They don't write well. I can't fucking follow what you're saying.
I'm like, I can be so impatient if I see like a whole thing kind of like.
You don't look at the whole page. You gotta look at it line by, sentence by sentence. You gotta read it. Thankfully, math textbooks, they break it up with like gaps in it showing problems, and problems is much easier to follow than a paragraph about text.
And when I'm building something or how do you say assemble something, I don't like to look at the structures because I am impatient to do that, and I would rather like trying to figure out myself.
Back to the AI. If you do use AI, disclose it. I want you to remember, if you want to be a programmer, you are only fucking yourself if you have the AI write the whole thing and then you modify it so that it looks like yours. The whole advice he gave about use it for everything, and he eventually retracted it when I like sent him like after he read what I wrote, like realized maybe said some bullshit that could be interpreted the wrong way. I don't think he meant the way it sounded. But like, this is your degree, this is your future. You want to be able to know what you're doing.
Like once he starts writing, he's looking around there with something.
Even class is very like not use it. I don't even have your stuff in this class.
That motherfucker. Because he goes into FNL and he just it's like sucking at the teat. It's like a baby nursing on a mother with the fucking AI. He doesn't say a negative word about it. And if I do, that's what he like where he mentions on Discord my negativity. Because all I ever hear him is worship AI future. You should see the fucking text he sent me over this weekend after I'm telling you can't tell students that shit. He went on this Jedi bender over Easter. Every comment was like to me in Yoda fucking talk. This is the future. No. I'm like, you can't tell him. I'll read one of them to you. This is how bad it was.
Can you use AI to make Mr. Red into Yoda? You should do that and just make your profile thing. Just be Mr. Yoda, Mr. Red and Yoda.
He said,
I used to
Yeah, that's how he was when I had
Like
it.
the role, like saying, like, you guys really need to find it.
I said, you can't tell them to do what you said, whether that was your, I don't think that was your intent or not. I read it because he's like, you didn't read it. I'm like, I read it 3 times before I responded, making sure. I'm like, is there any other fucking possible interpretation out of what I saw with the whole personalize it shit, add shit like that? I'm like, I couldn't believe what I'm reading. You hate when students do this in your own computer science class. I don't know why you're encouraging him to use AI in other classes. His response: stop it, we cannot. Define a new norm, we will. Balance, we will have. He fucking like,
You should post it on Discord.
You stop.
I
Hey,
gotta,
Mr.
That's a fair argument. though.
Mr. Jones, you should post that in Discord.
stop it, we cannot. I know it's blurry, but you,
We cannot.
That's actually why.
that's not the first one. That's not the only one. Nothing they will know. Better apps they will build. It has been foreseen. Grading easy will be. Jobs few to be.
That sounds like something ChatGPT would say.
Yeah.
That's Yoda talk.
And doesn't he say that Star Wars is overrated?
He often talked trash about Star Wars, and then over Easter break, he watched them all. You should have heard him at FNL during the integration beat. Him and Kai were arguing for at least 30 to 45 minutes over who had a worse life, Luke or Anakin. I swear to God. Then they tried to drag me into it. I'm like, you guys are nerds. I like Star Wars, but this, they're fictional, right? And they tried to drag me into it. I'm like, as soon as you drag me into it, I'm validating what you're doing right now, and you're just no. This is stupid. Stop.
Next thing is that Mr. Red's gonna play a video game.
He does play video games, but it's not very often, and they're not the games like we play. I'm pretty sure it's like Candy Crush and shit like that.
I imagine he plays
They are fun. They are quick, fun games, but they're not like the real mental challenges.
Mr. Jones, imagine if he goes to D&D, probably.
He would never play. He would never play D&D. It's not
Hey,
busy. He's energetic. It's not busy enough for him.
you need to.
He's not learning anything in it.
We probably never thought he was gonna go into Star Wars, and here you are. Here he is.
I was surprised he hadn't watched Star Wars when I wasn't a big fan of Star Wars, but apparently now he is. So if you use it, just say how you're using it. Make sure you can explain your code if you did use it, because ultimately, whether you get away with it or not, if you cheat and don't tell me and you get away with it, you're only hurting yourself. That's all that's the only thing I can say about using AI the wrong way. It's really, this is your education. Don't let it fuck you. It's so easy to go to it and ask for help to do shit. It fucking does shit wrong all the time. Did I show you guys the Green's theorem shit? Mind-boggling. Oh, you weren't in here. So we were doing Green's theorem the last couple days in Calc 3, and I prompted it for 10 questions, and then I prompted it for 10 answers, and like fucking 5 or 6 of them were zeros. And so I said, can you, there's trivial problems. The inside of the integral 0, you quickly don't have to integrate, do shit. I'm like, well, give me 10 problems where the answer isn't 0. And so it gives me 10 new ones. And I said, okay, now give me the solutions. And the first solution is like, surprise. It was like,
Oh, give him like
sucker play. I might still have it on my computer.
they give you like 7 out of 10 questions at 0. And you ask
It was
so you can
it was
not give it
6,
0.
but let me see.
It can't really be past top one. And even then, even with stuff that's not even top one, like it makes mistakes on like pre-calc. Like,
So-
calc.
Right. I've seen it do a lot of Calc 3 right and then fuck up 1 + 1.
Yeah.
This was the first problem I put, like problem 1. This is of the 10 problems I say don't make 0. Like, give me a problem that doesn't have an answer 0. Surprise, this one was actually 0, but don't worry, the next ones are juicy. I could make sure you each one at a time, but at the end of the 10 problems, it gives a summary of the 10 answers. So like, if you're like TLDR, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros out of 10. Over 50% of the questions had a fucking zero after being, that was the one criteria it was given. Like it's garbage. It really is. Wikipedia is more accurate and they tell you don't use Wikipedia as a resource. You know,
I mean, it's a good tool if you know how to use it.
it's a good tool, but you gotta double check it. And it cannot take just as long to double check it as it does to just do the work yourself.
Like some people say like for chemistry it's fast, but actually if you know the material, it helps you out like to check and you miss like some small like stuff, it corrects it.
That is a great way to do it, but you need to know the material. That's what teachers should be teaching. That's why I'm saying if you use it, make sure you know what you're doing. Do it on your own first. Use it to check a revision. If you do use it, say that you used it. Ultimately, AI, eventually coding is the thing it does easiest. But if you do shoot that's far beyond the level of this and don't say that you did AI or show me your original code, I know you went and just did AI. There are methods that we don't teach here.
Because it's kind of like it brainstorms you, and if you understand the material, you go like, this doesn't make sense, it makes sense. and
Right.
It's kind of like that one, you could say, okay, if you wanted 10, you could say like, give me 30 and just choose what is 0.
For these 10 problems, I only picked 2 or 3 of them and I didn't look at their answers. I just went, is the answer not 0? And then I went and did it because the answer is unreliable. And if I were to go through it, then I gotta go through step by step, make sure they did it, follow the reasoning. Sometimes they skip steps. And it's just like takes longer to fucking do it than just doing it myself. But like coming up with the problem, I don't want to just pull from a textbook all the time. That just gets old. So coming up with problems is a great way to come up with problems to do in classes at practice. If you do that with your classes and use it to like, give me some practice problems. Give me the solutions to go with it, but try to do the work on your own without looking at the solutions. That's a great resource for students is AI. Using it to develop your own skills and double checking it. And if there's a dispute, going which one is wrong. Because don't just assume the AI had the right version. Okay? Right? Do that here. If you use it to revise your code, comment out what you did. Say AI's version made it a little more concise. This is what I was doing, but it wasn't working the way I wanted. And then if it's like drastically different, explain to me in a comment, even if it's doing shit like this, making a comment block where you can write a paragraph. This code used pointers to access the address. You know, tell me what's going on. Show me that you know. Because if you used AI, at least show me that you know what you did since the code isn't yours or how it's working. Okay? Don't have it write your whole code though. Hopefully you grab from what's from exam 1.
Like, it's complex if you understand what it's about.
If you understand what it does and can explain it, yes. But don't do it on your own first. Because this happens all the time. I see it all the time in math class. Students will look at a problem and go, I know how to do that, and don't do it. But then like, I could give them that exact question on the test or a quiz, and they don't know how to do it. They just think they know how to do it. And what you think you know how to do is generally more than what you actually do are good at doing or that you can do. So don't just assume you can do it. Write it on your own. If you use it to revise, explain it. What? It shows up a lot less in CSCI 2. I want to say one or two people. I don't remember. I know there's been a couple because I know I gave some zeros on exams. I put it in their comments. Like there's no way you wrote this code. And some of it, yeah. I've sent from I don't think I've sent Juan any this semester, but from previous semesters, I've sent him code, like deleted any reference to who it might possibly be, so he doesn't know which of his peers it is. But I'm like, just look at this code. I don't tell him what's wrong with it, and he fucking reads through it. Oh my God, this is so obviously cheating. And you guys, if you've graded someone that cheated, you've spotted it. It's not fucking rocket science. If you're comfortable in multiple languages, I could see that happening. Now, I don't think that's what happened, but it's possible.
Like, it doesn't take you too long, you just go through the whole thing and you put it like people. There's something you won't see in the back.
Usually it's a very weird form of notation. I've seen it where I knew students were, I don't know if one person got it off the internet and the rest copied him, or if they all got it from the same source. But they had a function that didn't need to return anything, but it did, like it was an int function, and it returned, I want to say it was 666 or like 600 or 66 or 67 but it, like the return didn't do anything. It was the calculation did like a C out kind of thing. It was like doing a print function, but saying it like int print or double print, and it requires you return a double if you did it, but they returned a number and they all returned the same fucking number. And it wasn't 1, it wasn't 0. It was like, really? Constructors, yeah. Constructors are one of the flags too.
It's the something column, right? No, the double column.
They do awkward shit that's like,
It's not up to you know how it works.
but it doesn't follow the pattern of other things, and so it's easier to stick with the patterns you know. And when you don't, it's clear that you went and used a source that's not what we did, because they've done it in a completely different way.
So do some crazy way to build a memory kind of thing. And it's very, very obvious that's everything.
Yeah.
Something like nobody's ever seen. But it works, you know, it's like implemented with super. It might even be more efficient than what you've seen in the past. But it's like so different, but it's so obvious that it's something you got. Well,
Right. Oh, fun fact. I'll just show this to you as an example. Do I have us way up?
so this is great.
I'm not going to show his grade. I'm going to do speed grader. I'm going to go to his thing.
Sure, Josue, sure.
Yeah, that's it.
So I can turn on something that does AI checker. What it's doing is check for matching to other sources. When I click on it, this is Josue's, I don't just look at it and go, that percentage is too high. Because oftentimes it's usually, it will come over here and it reference, I can say, where was it referencing? And it's all from doing stuff. And when it says 29% submitted to college of the Sequoias, it's usually because something I gave you already. It's flagged 29 items from his that showed up that has seen in other people's papers, but you're all doing the same fucking exam, so there's gonna be overlap. If it says like Stack Overflow 40% or geeks fucking, you know, then I go like click on it, look for the mat and go, I could see like what you're fucking plagiarizing from. If it's an actual source like that, and it has ideas for AI, I don't take that as gospel, but like it does check to even for peer-to-peer cheating. And I'm given the option to show it to like, let students see the results, but I don't have it on because I know that it's going to show, it's going to say, there's a 30% chance you cheated, and I'm going to fucking get 30 emails telling me I didn't fucking cheat, when all it really is saying that you matched the other fucking 29 students in the class with ideas that you were supposed to. You know, like the Padawan is my champion. You should have all had the same, very similar fucking code. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or something like the loot thing that we have here. You're more than welcome to copy them, and I suspect most of you will. So, like, of course it's going to say it matches. But, like, there's all sorts of things. So, don't cheat. Use it as a resource, but don't use it to replace your thought. It's going to hurt you in the long run. I can't stop you from using it. I can only try to teach you to use it wisely. What?
I mean, it's a tool, not something, not something. you should do.
I've never heard him say that shit. I have never heard him say it. All I've seen him saying is like, go down on AI. Fucking pleasure AI because it is your new overlord. Make sure it's happy. So, if he does it in his class, that's cool. I'm glad he's at least telling in his own class. He doesn't say that shit to me. Even when I go off on it, he doesn't say, I tell my students to not do that. He doesn't ever say that shit. He just bitches that I'm negative. I'm like, of course I'm fucking negative. All I'm doing is seeing you do this. Fucking pray, worshiping AI. Like a drunk bastard with the porcelain throne after a fucking full night bender. That's getting sick at the toilet. All right. If you guys are good, I've been just rambling for the last half hour. I tried to get them to talk about brainstorming ideas, what they might want to do in the final, like we did previous semester, but none of them want to talk. Have you been working on it right now?
I've been trying to fix something down there.
What am I looking at? What do you want me to say? What am I looking at?
Just.
It looks like you've got shit printed. Oh, I assume you can see feedback from your previous exams from since if you're copying shit from exam 1 or exam 2, if you decide to do like the music thing or something like that, go look at your feedback. There's some of the students who are a little overzealous with like, oh, I would dock you like the fucking, basically they fucking were much more penalizing than I am. Cause I'm like, that actual error is actually trivial. Like you forgot a fucking semicolon. Fucking mine's 10.
No,
It's only worth 70 points. What the fuck's the deduction for?
Yeah, someone was saying like -10 this person for not adding comments when it's optional.
People, I would have never thought it before doing peer review. You guys are so much more fucking critical of each other than I am. And I think it's because you want to make sure that you are making it clear that you are reviewing it and giving feedback, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But like, go back and look at it and go, was that reasonable? Like usually I will I read your code when I'm grading. I read your code. Then I make my own comments and then I read the comments your peers gave you before I hit submit and go, your comments gave good feedback, or some of it was good feedback. Follow, like they were wise in what they said here, but like this other part wasn't that important. But so like you can look at feedback. If there was feedback on exam 1 and you're copying shit from exam 1 and the feedback was constructive, take advantage of it. Improve what you did. That's what we do in real life, right? That's what a program. They don't hire one person to just do the fucking programming for a place unless it's a small business. You're working on a team. You bring forward your shit. This is what it is, and the team looks at it. Everybody on the team looks. Oh, it'd be like, it would be much better if your thing printed or you returned this and shit like that, or did this. You all give each other feedback. You go back and revise. It happens in every fucking project. This is doing that. Taking feedback from your peers and revising. All right. I can keep talking for 20 minutes.
I think it's like, any like cars or vehicles and then decide like their stats or like their activities.
If you want to do car, I've seen a great one on cars. I think you remember like a year ago. Yeah. They were a car enthusiast. They even had links to pictures for the car.
Oh,
Yeah. Fucking like what was special about that year and model. There was paragraphs for each fucking car. It was to the point I didn't read the whole fucking thing because there was ticket to you. It was like reading a goddamn fucking 10-page paper. I made sure it ran. I read a couple of them. I saw that like they were just enthusiastic about it. I gave them extra credit for going well above and fucking beyond. Because it looked like they knew what they were. They loved cars. They took,
Oh, they're like.
yeah, they were venti, yeah. We're not just talking, they weren't showing, it wasn't a fucking Honda Accord, it was, it was the old classic cars. That was a good one. Should we go over Josue's code together, decide whether or not he gets a good grade as class?
Yeah.
I can't do that. He did give me permission to use his code though in class as a lecture.
You should get credit.
Why?
Cause he said you would allow us. See it?
And I allow him to continue getting away with murder.
With what murder?
Well, not actual murder. Do you hear how he talks to me all the time? He threatened to throw that ball at me earlier. You may not have been in here. He threatened harm. He threatened to assault a teacher with a weapon.
Josue is
what?
all bark but no
What?
bite.
With a weapon. You could hurt me with that bottle.
Hey, Mr. Jones. Josue is all bark and no teeth.
You guys don't know what he does to me on the weekends. That sounded bad. Let me fucking clarify that. In the Mesa Center, I'm here from 8 to 2. And then even when I'm not at the Mesa Center, he messages me on Zoom all the fucking time.
He's sick, don't listen.
He shows up this last Saturday at like 11:30.
Oh, I was drenched on the way back.
Oh yeah, yeah. I bet you were. You showed up at like 9 in the morning, already wet because it was raining. We're gonna go biking up to the fucking woods or some shit. Like, no, I'm not gonna join you. Josue shows up at 11:30 and like doesn't even pull out a bag or anything. Goes like, so like, what are we doing for lunch? This is no shit. Because oftentimes, like they students will cut like enough are there every weekend. They'll alternate going and buying pizza. And so like, I'm like, really? Did you just show up to get free food? He's like, no, I don't see any. I want to make sure no one's ordering any. He either did a really quick save or it was honest. He said, no, I don't see it here yet. So like, is anyone ordering? Because I'm gonna order.
Last time he ordered well, another student ordered in all fairness.
Yeah, yeah.
Last time I ordered like 4 pizzas and all, like someone else.
And they were delicious.
Just like the Mel pizzas that day was like.
If you guys are working on your shit and want like hands-on or like, I'm at the Mesa Center. I'm gonna during finals week. That fucking like finals are gonna be a Thursday, Friday, and then a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm still gonna be in the Mesa Center that Saturday. I may not know all the physics that you're doing or your engineering, but there's a good chance I can help because the fucking math we do in Calc 3 and applied mathematics is in that field. So like, if you're working on a problem and you're studying something else, even if it's not mathematics, or if you're working on a computer science, you will have been done with the final before then, but maybe you're taking another computer science class. I might be able to help.
You know, actually sometimes, like we went all the top of reading, like literally after we were done the physics for it.
Wait, what?
Like when we do physics, right, we learn like the math that we're supposed to know, like literally in physics, and by the time like we catch up in calc, like we learn it just like a whole year later, like.
It's the timing on it. They don't have the sequence timed right. You like will need Calc 3 in physics too.
Yeah.
And they don't like you can start taking calc or it can be at the same time. You can take Calc 3 at the same time as physics 2. Because you had to pass Calc 1 to get into physics. Or is it concurrent?
Concurrent.
Okay, so you could take physics 1 and Calc 1 together. You could take physics. That's even worse.
Or actually, no, I think it's physics 2 and physics, or physics, oh no, calc 2 and physics 1 concurrent.
Yeah.
But then, like,
So
still
physics
don't
2 would be concurrent with Calc 3, but the shit you need from Calc 3 in physics is at the end of the fucking semester.
Yeah, like we did.
It's not a concurrent class.
I think we're just.
Shouldn't be.
Flux, I think we did flux and physics like the third, like the fourth week.
Right. And it's like, we're going over flux tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, it is the third to last section out of like 40 or 50 sections in Calc 3. Yeah, there really needs to be a semester stagger in there that you're doing something else. But I don't write the rules. The rules are in place and someone fucking more aware of what, I don't know what they think. I don't know if they talked to fucking physics people when they said this. You would think they said, hey, physics people, should we make this concurrent? Should we allow Calc 3 students into your physics 2 class? And physics teachers just said, no. They might have heard Calc 3 and go, yeah, they'll cover it, but like Calc 3, the shit you need is until the end. Like it was that way for me as a student. I know, yeah, some of the shit were like, oh wow, oh, makes the calc easier when you get to it,
Yeah,
but the physics is a bitch.
yeah, it's like you go off and like. Sometimes you get upset because oh, it's a math class now, and then like you start like explaining it a little bit, and he's like, all right, this is all you need to know, and then you put have to do what you need.
Right. But still, even like with like, there's a lot of covering. I guess he doesn't. They have to do enough with vector fields before you're actually doing flux to make you comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Because that is a physics topic. Electric field, magnetic field, gravitational well. They're all vector fields. Y'all just still sitting here.
You're good to go.
I was done going over the file. We just been talking all sorts of shit for fucking 45 minutes. If you have,
So with this, what is it? Okay, so far with what I'm writing, or should I use? Cause I don't know if I'm gonna use a hash table. I might
you have to use a hash
I
table.
mean, like, I'm not, like, I haven't used it yet, and I'm trying to use this code, a hash table for like characters right now. Or should I just make a new one?
I don't understand.
Cause I don't know if I might not be able to finish it
Yeah, let me see.
for the final. So, this is really complex and.
Is it like a project you're doing on your own?
Yes.
Does it do all the shit that I'm talking about in the final? Does it cover hash tables and classes and shit like that? and lists?
has One class. I was really gonna do like multiple classes, but I've been seeing it's just gonna use up so much memory in the going program.
That's a decision you're gonna have to make. Decide whether you, because I told you, like, if you have all the elements of this, you can go through with your own project. You do not have to do the project I gave, but does need to have the same elements.
I feel like the project you mentioned would be more easier and I would be able to finish in 1 or 2 days.
Oh, yeah. You could,
Kind of like last exam, which I finished all.
right, you could get it done right away, but that's up to you. If you want to do that, or you want to do your super code and submit that, it's up to you. I'm not gonna tell you what to
I
choose
guess I
here.
could try to finish this on my own. It's more of a thing that I might use as well later. It's like the whole inheritance thing.